President George H.W. Bush's lifelong commitment to public service lives on at Texas A&M's Bush School of Government and Politics. There have been more than 1,700 graduates of the school since it began in 1997. KXAN's Alyssa Gord spoke with one graduate who was inspired by the former president to have a lifelong commitment to public service, and he's using it to make changes in Austin.
You'll find Taylor Smith upstairs at Austin City Hall going through policy proposals.
It's everything from helping somebody get a pothole filled to helping regulate scooters.
He says what got him there was earning his master's at the Bush School of Government and Public Service. The former president was what sold him on the school.
The beginning of the session, they bring in President Bush. We were not expecting that. Nobody told us that was going to happen. And instead of selling his school to us, he told us no matter where you end up going, when you graduate, use your degree to better the city you live in or the state that you live in.
President George H.W. Bush wasn't just the namesake. He and his wife would have students over, take photos with each graduating class, and say hello as they strolled around campus.
He and Barbara would always they had this like little white golf cart that the dogs would walk ahead of them and they would just kind of troll behind. And then of course the Secret Service would not be too far behind.
He says Bush would often ask the students what they were learning and what they hoped to accomplish.
I love that little school, and it's growing. And if we can get one or two kids interested in public service, we're doing the Lord's work.
Smith is now one of those kids. He is a Republican. The council member he works for is a Democrat. But they both just want what's best for the city.
I think if we look back on the life and history of President Bush, he had to do a lot of things that cross party lines. And so if we could get back to those days where you're just a member of Congress or you're just a staffer and forget about your party identity, I think we'd be in a lot better place as a country.
It's part of a set of values he plans to use in Austin and for the rest of his life.
As long as I can continue helping people, I think that's what I want to do.
Alyssa Gord, KXAN News.
In lieu of flowers, the Bush family is asking that those who wish to express condolences do so by donating to the George Bush Memorial Fund. Those dollars will go toward the Bush School of Government and Public Service at A&M to carry on his legacy of public service.
Out in the country past the Brazos County now, there's a graduate school with students so fine. They all start jumping when the president comes to town.
And students at the Bush School at A&M have some fond memories of the late president. Back in March of 2013, they surprised him with this flash mob while he was visiting College Station. They spent several weeks planning the song and dance that they call the Bushwhack Boogie. President Bush developed a deep friendship for President Bill Clinton that led to charitable work. The pair teamed up to support relief efforts following the 2004 South Asian tsunami, the 2005 Hurricane Katrina relief program, and again following Hurricane Ike in 2008. The pair also led to Clinton raising money with Bush for Haiti earthquake relief in 2010.